In this video, I'm going to show you, if you're an event administrator or event approver, how to approve events. So first thing, you'll come to events.ucmerced.edu and you'll log in. You'll know that you have admin privileges because when you click this drop down, it'll say administration here. So if you don't have this option, that means that most likely you haven't been given admin privileges or approver privileges, and you'll just need to reach out to me at calendar@ucmerced.edu and ask for those privileges, and I can add you pretty quickly. So you'll go to administration. This will take you to your dashboard, and you'll see the pending events box right here. This will tell you how many events you or your department has been assigned for approval. And that number will vary depending on how many events have been submitted in your department. So I would recommend checking your dashboard once or twice a week, just giving it a quick look to make sure that your queue is down to 0, ideally. We don't want to keep events pending for too long. So you'll click on your pending events, and you'll see that actually we're quite active now. We've got several events waiting in the queue. For the purpose of this video, I'm going to use this test event. So you'll want to check the event submission make sure that it meets the guidelines of our calendar, which the guidelines are all laid out here under this submit an event. This is on the actual event submission form so that everybody knows what we're looking for. It's pretty obvious stuff: no inappropriate language, no context that reflects poorly on the campus, and that it tells folks that the event will be pending until an admin approves the post. So you'll look here on the right hand side is event reach. This is a metric that's determined by how complete the event submission is, and it also is determined by how many tags the submitter used, which so that in itself will vary. I don't think I've ever seen an event submission that had like a 100% reach. So 45, I would say, is pretty good compared to when I've been testing this and playing around with it and left things kind of incomplete. It's been more like 23%. But you'll get a feel for like kind of quick look at this number should tell you how much needs to be changed, or if the event is ready for approval. So you'll want to make sure that there's a name, obviously that's required, that the description is here, that it kind of gives folks a sense of what the event is, and that there are no issues based on the guidelines that we set forward. Make sure that there's a start date, and then in this, sometimes people submit events and add the Zoom information later. You can do that, and I think that that's fine. And then one thing to definitely look out for in this COVID era, most if not all of our events are going to be virtual. And so even though this submission has virtual up here under experience, and they can choose from hybrid or in-person, hybrid would be obviously virtual and in-person together. Even though virtual is selected here and there's information, meeting information, you'll still want to go to the event type and make sure that the submitter has selected virtual, because this tag will ensure that any students who aren't on campus or anybody really who has signed up for a digest, which I will cover in another video, if they are selecting you know, virtual as a tag to kind of filter those events into their inbox, then this event won't show up if it doesn't have this virtual tag added. So it's kind of an extra step. May seem a little bit redundant, but the point is to make sure that this is showing up in people's digests, and that we're letting people know that this is a virtual event type. And so, you know, they've selected a topic, a target audience or target audiences, and groups. So it looks like this is pretty complete. And you just kind of take a quick look at everything else and then click Save Changes. And then you can go back to your event queue, and you can use this little breadcrumb at the top to kind of click to where you need to be. This actually took me to all of the events that are live, but I really want to go to my pending events. So that was a good learning lesson. So then you will, if the event is ready for approval, you click the box and then you just click approve. Now, if you wanted to reject that event, if there was something that was wrong with it, you would just click the reject button. And so like, since I've already clicked approve, I don't believe that this will actually reject the event. I just wanted to show you what happens when you reject. This little pop-up box comes up and you can write, you know, please fix the description, or you could say, please edit the description, and then resubmit. And so you'll send the message and reject the event. It may have actually allowed me to do that. That's kind of funny. But generally, when you choose an action like approve or reject, it'll like stay on your page, I think, for a few minutes, or stay until you refresh the page, and then it'll fall off of your queue. So if you reject it, it'll come off of your queue, and then, in fact, I can refresh right now to show you it's gone. And what happened is that person that submitted it received an email into their inbox from the system. I think it's UC, University of California Merced Events Calendar. That it's just a very kind of generic email that says your event has been rejected, and then it provides like exactly what you wrote in that little box as the reason why. And then that person will have to go to their, they'll have to go to their user dashboard here and see like the events that they're organizing. So yeah, it tells them in their dashboard, you know, look, the test event was approved, test event was rejected, and they should be able to go to that event and edit it, and then just, you know, fix whatever needs to be fixed and resubmit. So I personally would, you know, if I wouldn't recommend rejecting if you can avoid it. If there's like something small that just needs to be fixed, I think it's fine to make that edit, as long as it doesn't, you know, fundamentally change something important, or a central piece of the event, or what they're trying to convey in the details. But if it's, you know, a little grammatical error that you noticed, or misspelling, or something, I think it's fine to do that. Or yeah, so just make the edit and then approve. If there's something bigger, like they're missing, you know, a key piece of information, I think it's fine to send the rejection, and then they can go in and resubmit and edit it, and then it'll come back on your queue again, and you can see that they've made the change and approve it. So one more thing I want to show you is, in case this this video didn't give you everything you needed about approving events, there is a guide here that you can follow that walks you through kind of all of what I just showed you step by step. And there are other guides here as well. There's a frequently asked questions. There's a glossary of terms. We use a lot of kind of keywords in Calendar, like channels and event type. This tells you, and filters, this tells you kind of how those, where those words come from and what they refer to, and makes it a little bit easier to understand what's going on. So thank you for watching this video. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to calendar@ucmerced.edu, and I'll be happy to answer your questions. Thanks.